everybody. My name is Allison Ostrander. I am the Director of Risk Tolerance here at Simpler Trading. And in today's video, we are going to discuss the risk in options versus stock and talk about the difference between these two types of trading strategies. So what are stocks? Well, stocks, of course, allow a person to buy shares within a certain company or group of companies, which is an ETF. Stocks are typically seen as a longer-term investment strategy as they do not expire. The risk of stocks is the amount of capital you invest based on where the underlying price is trading at the time of purchase. If the underlying price is how much one share of the company costs, right? So that's what the underlying price is. So for example, right, if Apple was trading at $50 with the underlying price, right, that was how much is showing up on the chart, then it would cost $50 for one share of the company and $5,000 for 100 shares of the company. Now, once again, those shares don't expire, right? So you don't have to worry about that like you do with options, but it does typically cost a bit more capital in order to invest. What are options? Well, options are the ability to buy or sell stock at a certain price, which is the strike price, but options themselves hold value in them, right? And increase and decrease in value based on where the strike level is versus the underlying price of a symbol. Many people who trade options do not necessarily jump in looking to obtain the stock itself, but rather earn a profit off the movement of the option price, right? Of the value of that option to buy or sell the stock. One option contract typically equals 100 shares of stock. So the risk in options versus stock. Now that we kind of have an idea of what a stock is versus an option, let's talk about it, right? Unlike stocks, for example, options have an expiration date. So on the one hand, this can be viewed by the brokerage platforms as a riskier way to trade because you have less time for your thesis to unfold. For example, with that Apple share, if I bought one share of Apple at 50, I have basically an unlimited amount of time to be able to sit and hold that trade in order for it to hopefully increase in value. Whereas if I bought an option of Apple, let's say I bought it at 60. Well, I bought an option strike at 60, right? Hoping that Apple not only increases from the $50 value, but it increases past $60 and moves higher. But I also have a limited time for that to happen, right? If I bought the option a month out, I'm only giving Apple a month in order for that underlying price to increase and therefore increase the value of the option itself. Versus on the shares, I'm not limited on time. So if a price doesn't move in my favor by the date of expiration, my option contract can result in a loss or potentially expire worthless. Now, once again, there are option strategies that can sometimes benefit from this, but of course, you want to make sure that you're in the right strategy for that to happen. If I'm in something like a long call where I really need the underlying price to move up and in my favor and it doesn't move in my favor, let's say it remains flat or it moves lower, well, then that is a bigger risk in regards to how the brokerage platform views it, and therefore, right, something to be mindful of when trading the risk in options versus the risk that are involved in stocks themselves. Options contracts represent a fraction of the cost of the underlying asset, allowing traders to have more leverage, right? That's a benefit of options. More leverage means the ability to control a larger position in the market with a smaller upfront investment compared to buying or selling the actual stock. So once again, kind of in the example that we were talking about, if I bought one contract of a call of Apple at $50 strike level for $2 debit, it means I'm technically only putting in $200 of risk. If I were to do this through purely buying just stock shares, 100 shares, right? Because one option contract equals 100 shares. Therefore, if I bought 100 shares at the $50 strike level, it would cost me $5,000 of capital in stock. So that is a benefit of options. Options, given the ability that they have more leverage, means I don't necessarily have to pay an upfront amount as much as I would if I'm buying solely the shares on something like Apple. Options can provide larger returns in relation to the price movement of the underlying price. The percentage gains or losses for options can be significantly higher than the percentage changes in the underlying asset's price itself. And so, what that basically means in short is the pros and cons to options is it can actually allow for a much bigger profit to happen more quickly compared to shares if the price moves in your favor. But on the flip side, it can also lead to bigger losses if the trade goes against you, right? So, pros and cons to doing options is, you have the ability for a much bigger winner, but you also have the ability for a bigger percent loser because of things like expiration and if it doesn't necessarily move in your favor the way you're looking for. Unlike trading stocks, where you want the price to move higher, options trading allows for a plethora of strategies to trade in multiple types of markets and still make money. This is one of my favorite aspects about trading options is that options can give traders the flexibility to trade any market type with a lower amount of capital risk. But due to the limited time an option can be held, it can also lead to a riskier way to trade compared to the traditional way of trading stocks. And so, what this means, once again, is basically options trading them gives you the flexibility of putting on a trade where you can bet Apple's going to move lower, right? Well, on shares, you never want the price to move lower because that's going against you. But with options, you can put on a long put and actually make money if Apple were to move to the downside, right? So it offers a lot more flexibility. There are also strategies that you can implement with options where if the price is just completely flat, right, you can make money off of it being completely flat. Whereas, once again, if you're holding shares, you're not really making any money if Apple, for example, is flatlining. So options give traders a lot more flexibility to continuously trade throughout different market types and different market environments. Whereas when you're buying stocks, when you're buying shares, you really just want the thing to go up, right? That's the main traditional way of doing it. The downside, once again, though, is on those option strategies, you have a limited amount of time to be able to have that move that you're looking for take effect, whether it's a bearish move, whether it's a consolidating move, whether it's a bullish move. There's a limited amount of time that you have for that option, for the underlying price to basically move in your option strategy favor. Whereas with stocks, you have unlimited time to wait and sit on your hands for it to then try and move higher. So once again, thank you so much for joining me on this video. Those are just some of the difference between options and stocks and the risks around options versus the risks around stocks and shares. As always, may the trade be with you, my fellow Jedis, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye.